Kirk, are you more impressed by Kemba's pass or Joel's finish?
I'm impressed by both because when you have, first of all, that was a nice dime, but when you got a 7-footer who did, I wouldn't call it a windmill, I'd call it a little baby ceiling fan. But that was impressive right there.
Baby ceiling
Yeah, that
fan.
was a little baby ceiling fan.
This is coming from someone who can dunk next to two people who cannot. I'm sorry, I'm just making assumptions here.
Once, Rach.
You dunked once. Was it on
happened.
someone or just?
No, there's a reason I'm Nick the Pick. It wasn't because I could dunk.
We'll get into Nick's childhood a little bit later in the show. Welcome to The Jump. I'm Rachel Nichols alongside our ESPN Warriors insider, Nick Friedel, and the NBA champion, Mr. Kendrick Perkins. Very nice to have you back. Coming up, we'll talk about an incredible dunk contest that ended in controversy again. Poor Aaron Gordon. But which dunker had the better night? Derrick Jones Jr. or AG? We will break it all down. First, though, let's talk about the weekend. Well, that worked. 10 of the best basketball players in the world absolutely going at it in an all-star game that delivered on every level as part of an all-star weekend that delivered on every level. Play was actually competitive, finally, but it was more than that. The NBA is at its best when it leans into the things it does best: elite athleticism, megawatt star power, cultural relevance, social responsibility. And last night in Chicago felt so good because we got all of that. The evening started with pitch-perfect tributes to Kobe Bryant, first by Jennifer Hudson, and then from Common. And then Common rolled right into some elite-level player intros. I mean, the man found something to rhyme with Antetokounmpo. He is clearly a national hero. And then we had the game itself. This year, in a new format that included the score being reset with every quarter and then something called Elam scoring at the end, where the clock goes off and guys are simply competing playground style to get up to a certain number. The changes were not popular when they were announced. They seemed complicated and gimmicky, and they easily could have felt that way on the court last night. Except the NBA did something brilliant that gave the whole experiment a real heart. First, it connected the game to two local charities, assigning one to each team and putting a $100,000 donation up for grabs for each quarter. Then, the league made sure that players knew exactly who they were playing for, sitting the kids involved right at the baseline. So in the end, we got 100 or hundreds of underserved kids treated to a blockbuster basketball game. The arena got much-needed energy boosts there, and All-Stars got the extra kick of motivation that's been so sorely lacking in recent years. It is hard, it turns out, to dog it when 20 feet away from you is a kid whose life you can help change. And in the first two quarters, we saw first Team LeBron and then Team Giannis turn up the Jets accordingly. By the end of the third quarter, the game had a postseason atmosphere with all kinds of plays you do not expect to see in an All-Star game. I talked with LeBron James about it afterward.
You guys taking charges? You had coaches' challenges in an all-star game?
Yeah. And timeout, setting up plays. We drawing plays. You know, let's get a stop. We get multiple stops. It felt like a real game going down the stretch like that. And you know, to be out there with the greatest competitors in our game, it's even more. You got to be even more focused because any little slippage you can pay for it. So it was a fun turnout.
Oh yes, it got more focused in the fourth quarter. You want defense in an all-star game? How is this? In the first three quarters, players were shooting 56% from the floor. In the fourth quarter, with the rosters winnowed down to the game's very best, players shot just 36%. Of the 14 blocks, 7 were in the fourth quarter. Giannis's block on LeBron alone was epic. Chris Paul was everywhere. It was he, by the way, who suggested this format change to Adam Silver. There's Kyle Lowry throwing his body into every play with abandon, and in the end, it was a Lowry foul that led to the Anthony Davis free throw that ended the game. But it was clear afterward pretty much everyone involved was a winner. Both charities were going home with significant money. Fans got a game for the ages, and players got not only a renewed sense of competition, but the feeling they had done right by Kobe Bryant in a game that had set out to honor him. Kawhi Leonard, who won the MVP trophy that has been newly given Kobe's name, spoke to me about the advice Kobe once gave him and what to do at All-Star.
You know, I think it was my first All-Star game. He asked me how many shots I shot in the game, and I think it was about 18 and 20 at the time for me, and then he was like, I shot it 47 times, so, you know, get your attempts up. So, you know, that's what type of competitor he was. He just, wanted to win, go out and, show everybody he's the best player.
Oh, yes, that's Kobe. And Kawhi did not have 47 shots last night, but he and the other All-Stars certainly repped Bryant well. They gave us their best. The whole league did all weekend. And hey, that worked. Perk, were you surprised at just how competitive this All-Star game was?
No, I wasn't. I knew they were gonna come out and honor Kobe. I knew the guys were gonna come out and put it all out on the line. But I was watching, I was like, wow, is this the NBA Finals? I mean, when it got down the stretch and LeBron and Giannis guarding each other, and you see the jump balls and the tie-ups, the fouls, the challenges and all this, I'm like, wow, I know Kobe is proud right now. But it was a few guys to me that came in off the bench that set the tone early for them. Kyle Lowry, Chris Paul, Ben Simmons, and I thought Rudy Gobert did a great job of embracing the moment as a first-time All-Star. And when you see that, it was beautiful to watch, Rachel. And I think, it was probably the best All-Star game I've seen since probably I've been living.
Were you live in 2001?
Yeah, but this one was beautiful.
Man, in 2001, Allen Iverson was the MVP.
That's
so you're
what,
gonna have to argue with me for that.
I already knew that was coming. But no, it was beautiful. I know Mamba is proud.
Absolutely.
It was awesome. I just want to make sure that moving forward they maintain it. Because to Perk's point, so much of this was honoring Kobe.
Sure.
And they did. They played hard. It was fun to watch in the end. But we are walking a very tight rope here. And Charles Barkley said it over and over again in the lead up to this game. Everybody has to make sure that there are no injuries in the All-Star game. Because while the intensity was there, and it was great, and it should be there at the end of games for sure, the first time somebody gets hurt, everyone will go, a $40 million player got hurt in an All-Star game, that really means nothing.
But $40 million players get hurt in practice. Should you just never practice?
When's the last time somebody got
Luka Doncic
seriously...
just got hurt in practice. He sat out for 2 weeks. Obviously, that's not a serious injury. But Boogie Cousins got hurt in practice this summer, working out. He's been out since then. It happens.
The first time an All-Star suffers a serious injury, the tenor of the conversation is going to be completely different. So in the moment, as a fan, I'm sitting there going, this is awesome. This is how it should be down the stretch. And the players seem to enjoy themselves. But hearing Charles's comments echo in my brain at the end of that game, watching Kyle Lowry dive all over the place, I started thinking, oh boy, because there's that other side to it. And the other side is the first time somebody suffers any kind of major injury, everybody's going to go, oh no, what did we do? So I want to make sure this continues moving forward, but I want everybody to be cautious because Charles is right, and it's going to be something that everybody has to keep an eye on.
I don't know. I feel like Paul George got hurt so badly in a Team USA exhibition. It didn't stop people from saying we should participate in Team USA or even stop having Team USA exhibitions. So I know the threat of someone getting hurt is always there. Obviously, we never want anybody to get hurt. But I do think that the idea of turning an All-Star game, which is advertised as the best pickup game on earth, into actually that, it was such an energizing thing for the league, and I think it is really going to have some carryover going forward. There was an issue at the end because the game did end on a made free throw. Some of the players did not like that. Joel Embiid had something to say.
Tough loss, but to me it was probably the best All-Star game ever. Everybody competed. I had fun, but I don't agree that you should be able to win on the free throw, so I'm not happy about that. But overall, great weekend. I had a lot of fun. Thank you.
All right, so what do you think? Should the rules be tweaked so that you don't end on a free throw? I mean, there's still a little drama because of the missed first one. LeBron made the point that, hey, NBA Finals games end on a free throw sometimes. What do you think?
You can't tweak it because if you did, then you'd have Rambis and McHale beating the hell out of each other trying to send the guys back to the line. So I don't see what the answer is in the moment. The league will continue to work on it. And, Rach, I think it's only a matter of time before we see the Elam ending moving forward in a lot more places than just the end of the All-Star game. I think there's a lot of interest now. We saw it in TBT the last few summers. The NBA's, I'm sure, going to work with this moving forward, but I don't see how it can end any other way because then you have a real chance of guys who are so competitive wanting to send them back to the free throw line to make sure that a basket doesn't win the game.
Yeah. What do you think, that it's okay to end on a free throw or no?
No, I'm going the opposite way. I think you can tweak it at the end, and this is how. I think you don't want to end on a free throw. You want to end on a made bucket, but guys are so smart. So guys will say, you know what, I'm just going to foul you. Because my thing is that if you get fouled, take it out, replay the possession, right? Take it out, inbound the ball. But the defense and coaches are so smart, they're going to say, well, we're just going to foul you and make you take it out until you miss a shot. But what you do is you penalize the defense and take a point every time that they foul the guys. So to make everybody honest.
Kendrick, that's really going for it.
I'm just saying, that's how that's the only way you could do it.
Well, we'll see whether they make that tweak or not.
They don't have to, though.
Well, I think it's fine either way. It's not like last night didn't have drama ending on a free throw. It still worked. And your point about the TBT, the basketball tournament, watching that this summer is where Chris Paul saw it. He saw it work so well. He called Adam Silver. They've been working for a few years to tweak the All-Star game. And this also might have a ripple effect in terms of this midseason tournament that Adam Silver has been talking about. One of the big pushbacks has been, hey, don't tinker with the game so much, right? All the different changes make people uncomfortable. Well, this All-Star game had some pretty significant changes to the format, and it was complicated, and it did run the risk of being gimmicky, but it worked. Right. So I wonder if Adam now has more political capital with the other owners to say, hey, trust me that this could work also. Maybe in that midseason tournament, we see this elam ending the same way with this, because I don't see it happening in NBA Finals, but for a midseason tournament?
But let's not act like the East wasn't up by double figures and the West came walked it down. Like,
yeah, well.
Team Giannis was up, right?
Team Giannis was up.
Was up by double figures. So let's, Joel, I love you, but hey, y'all blew the game. Y'all had multiple chances to win.
Just like the West was up back in 2001, and Allen Iverson led a heroic comeback in the final 9 minutes, and that is why that was also a fantastic All-Star game, and he was MVP. I'm just, Google kids. It's fantastic to watch. Coming up, we're going to discuss John Beilein's future in Cleveland. It is now in immediate doubt. Is there any way for his run in Cleveland to still work? First, though, it's time for our distant replay from this date, 2001, one of LA's finest.
They are all plus 80% free throw shooters. Excellent at the line.
For a minute, I thought it was a distant replay of a free throw.
Oh, no way.
That counts.
Ooh.
It's good.
What was that, like 88 foot?
Look at that.
Yeah.
Come on, Baron Davis.
That was like the Steven Adams the other night. Should have gave us a shimmy.
Yeah.
BD.